Yo, what's up, everybody? So today, I don't know why, I just had this epiphany moment to where I think right now, especially with the generation that we live in, speaking for myself, Gen Z, I think there's never been a more frustrating time to be feeling that everything that you want as far as just your dream life and everything you had envisioned for life has never been so far to achieve. And right now in our current society, basically how everything moves so fast paced and everything that's just forming around us has never looked like this before throughout history. It almost makes it feel as if your dream life is unattainable and it's so far from the reality. But I think with our current reality, and it makes it so hard to believe, is just that information and resources have never been this tangible and at our fingertips, to where it makes it almost as if it was in arm's reach, but the moment we go out and we reach for it, it disappears. I think it's almost under the sense of it being so good, and yet it feels so far that it's right under our noses. And I think because of that, in this generation, we just lack the one thing that would help us make that decision, and that's focus. It's just that our generation has an abundance of all these resources at our fingertips, and I think the only true way we can grasp that concept of basically figuring it out, what we want and what we need to achieve it, is the focus, because we have so much in front of us, and it can cloud up our way of judgment, and not only the way we think, it leaves us in a state of analysis paralysis. The moment I do think about it, and I am going to leap to make this decision, is it the right decision for me? And I think because it's uncertain for all of us, and it makes it a bit harder and a bit scarier to do that, it leads us to not act. The amount of access that we have to resources, material, and just things that we need to succeed throughout life. And I myself am in this space. I'm always thinking about what the right next move is. How do I know if it's the right one? Yeah, I have on all this information. What is it that I take and I implement into my daily life, or is it that I cut from my daily life that's not currently working? We're just in this position of living life, but that's exactly what we're placed here to do. I genuinely think that there's probably somebody in a position right now who just is feeling that type of way that I am, and basically wasn't seeing it as clearly as I do right now, that if you really just focus in on what it is that you actually want in life, you can obtain it, I think, way more likely than somebody that amount of years ago would be able to face or be put face in this situation. And I think we're put in an advantage. And again, this isn't easy. I'm not just saying this to basically say, oh, this is the best path you should take. Of course, everything looks different for everyone. I'm just saying that if you're currently in this position and you're faced with a problem that it doesn't seem like you can get out of, always remember one thing, if there's anything that you take away from what I just said here. When there's an up, no matter how high you're up, there's always a down. And when there's a down, no matter how far you think you are down currently, and there's no chance, there is always a light at the top. And you have to remember that at both sides. You have to find a healthy balance, because I know there's been times in my life where nothing I could ever think would get better than the current state that I was in. And then quickly short after that, I was put in a position where I don't think most people want to be in. But vice versa, once I was put in that position that I didn't want to be in, the light came. Basically, I thought I would never get out of the spiral of how low I was getting. And in this time period, I'll just be honest, it was mainly financially and basically just figuring things out when I was put in a position to where unfortunate and uncertain circumstances put me where I had to basically move overnight, pack up all my things and just leave where I currently was. And it almost felt like a moment where I was just helpless. I was just like, I don't know how I got in this position. Now that I look back on it, I can see the position that I was in and how I got there. But in that current state of mind, I just didn't know, one, how I got there, and two, how I'd get out of it. So I know for a fact there are people like that are in that current position that can utilize what I just said to help them, one, either see that there is always another up no matter how down they currently are, and that if they take the necessary steps to get out of it, they can obtain exactly what it is that they want currently. And again, you might be asking yourself, who is this person? I'm Jay Williams. I'm just somebody who's in their game of life right now, just trying to figure it out, just like probably everybody in my age, or just really currently, it doesn't even matter what age you are, just in that mindset, in that headspace. That's it. If you're still here, cool, but I'll see you.